in the far distant future. When all useful energy is used up and entropy is at maximum, would time even have any meaning? And so, we have now reached a turning point. The foundations of modern time and space can only get us so far, and though they are useful, there is another revolution coming. A new order that will lead directly to the last days of our lonely black hole world. And as we continue in our journey, we are going to have to explore new time and new space. Within their black hole shell, many of the civilization resigned themselves to their fate and dozed their way to the end. But a few curious minds, with their dwindling energy, still wondered about the universe. Great books that had existed for almost an eternity told them how space could bend and curve. Central to these books was the story of light. They knew that light speed was immense and had used it to help measure their empire. They knew that light was a limit they could never break, no matter how hard they tried. And they knew that the speed of light had been the first step in the long journey to understanding how the universe really worked. When you are next out of doors on a summer night, turn your head towards the zenith. Almost vertically above you will be shining the brightest star of the northern skies, Vega of the Lyre, 26 years away at the speed of light, near enough to the point of no return for us short-lived creatures, for no man will ever turn homewards beyond Vega to greet again those he knew and loved on Earth. The speed of light has always been mysterious. Early experiments in flashing lights back and forth had shown that it must be much faster than sound. So scientists wondered, was it infinite in speed? It was in 1676 that Danish astronomer Ole Rømer finally found the answer. Rømer was observing the moons of Jupiter as they circled the giant planet, and timing just when they entered the gas giant's planetary shadow. He had assumed that the orbits ticked like clockwork, and so would be able to predict just when the eclipses of the moons would begin and end. But as he observed the moon Io throughout the year, his predictions got steadily worse, and then better again. It became clear that the accuracy of his predictions depended upon our distance to Jupiter, and he would need to include the extra time taken by light having to travel further. And so, with Rømer's data, fellow astronomer Christian Huygens calculated that light must move at more than 211,000 kilometers every second, not far off our modern estimate of about 300,000. Rømer's observation confirmed that light was fast and finite, but precisely what light was would have to wait for 2 centuries. For as well as the confusing implications of James Clerk Maxwell's demon, he is also famous for intertwining electricity and magnetism into a single idea: electromagnetism. Light, he found, was nothing more than a self-propagating combination of the two, and written into these equations was light's blistering speed. But there was still a problem. Just what was this speed relative to? Maxwell's equations gave no answers, so physicists began to search for a solution. Perhaps, they hypothesized, light traveled in an invisible medium, a mysterious ether permeating the entire cosmos.